Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Cynthia. As always, happy to be here. Happy to always be recording another episode for you guys. And most of you probably did the same thing as I did over the weekend. Sit at home, sit at a bar, go to a restaurant, go to a Super Bowl party, and watch the Super Bowl halftime show. Or the game. I don't know. I was there mainly for the halftime show, but I actually did understand the game, and I believe it's because I watched it from start to finish. Also, I had the help of my brother right next to me, telling me play by play what everything means, what did the flags mean. So that was the first time I actually was able to comprehend a little bit about the game and understand, and I was actually like cheering, and like it was weird. But I wasn't really rooting for any team because my, I guess, quote unquote team wasn't playing in this year's Super Bowl. I'm not a big football fan, but I could definitely enjoy it. And I had a really chill, low-key time with my family. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to spend money. Everywhere was going to be overpriced. Everywhere was going to be packed. My social battery was dead. No. So I'm like, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to drink a margarita or two. I'm going to eat some good food because my mom is the best cook in the entire world. And that's exactly what I did. That's how I spent my Super Bowl Sunday, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And of course, we had the two Latina queens performing, Shakira and J-Lo, and me being Latina. I was so obsessed with it from start to finish. I won't get into too much detail about that. If you guys want to listen to me speak on this amazing halftime performance, you guys can go to the entertainment episode that I host, and I really dive into all the details on why I loved the performance so much. But I want to really get into what I'm really here to talk about, and that's how to naturally balance your hormones. And this was something that I've been asked a lot. This is something that really interests me. I feel like there's so much to really dissect here. This is mainly going to be more on the holistic side of things, a holistic perspective. And I know there's going to be a lot of people who are tuning in who probably disagree with what I will be saying throughout this episode. Many people will be on board who are like, yes, I'm with you. I agree with you. And many of these ideas that I will be discussing on today's episode is from this doctor, Dr. Josh Axe. I'm a huge fan of him. He's a holistic doctor. I have read his book, Collagen. I'm just really a fan of what he preaches, but not only what he preaches. He brings in real anecdotes of how holistic medicine has healed not only him, but his mother who had cancer. And I've always been this way. I have never been super into the Western modern medicine part, I guess. Even as a young child, I always refused to take medicine. You can ask my mother. I would cry and kick. I never wanted to take pills. I didn't want to do anything that didn't feel natural to me. I've always been like that. So I feel very passionate about this topic. And I feel like this is the beginning of many holistic things that I will be covering. So today I'll be covering really about how to naturally balance your hormones. So I'll be discussing what is the endocrine system. I'll be talking about signs and symptoms that you have, abnormalities or imbalances with your hormones. I'll talk a little bit about the causes. And then in the very end of the last segment, I'll actually dive into how to naturally kind of help or heal those problems. And like I said, my stance is on the natural, holistic approach. I don't believe in the big pharmaceutical companies. I'm big pharma. Again, this is just my opinion. This is not to say that everything that I will be speaking on today's episode is the absolute right. I'm not telling you that if you decide to pop an Advil anytime you experience pain or whatever, that you are wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not attacking anyone here. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm just expressing my views. I'm expressing the approach that I decided to take on my body. Just how I have a choice with how I want to heal my body, you also have a choice on how you want to heal yours. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and that's all I need to say about that. So, if you want to continue to learn more about the holistic approach on how to naturally balance your hormones, then please continue to listen. Let's get into it. I got a lot to cover today. So hormones, really, what is that, right? We kind of hear that word getting thrown around left and right. What are hormones? So hormones such as estrogen, testosterone, adrenaline, and insulin, they're all extremely important chemical messengers that affect many aspects of your overall health. Hormones are secreted by various glands and organs, including your thyroid, adrenals, pituitary. Oh my God, I cannot speak right now. Pituitary. Sorry, I don't know what happened with my tongue right now. Ovaries, testicles, pancreas, all of that. So the entire endocrine system works together to control the levels of hormones circulating throughout your body. And if one or more is even slightly imbalanced or off, it can cause widespread major health problems or even minor problems, even like hormonal acne, right? That's all across like the chin, jawline. That can even be a sign of hormonal imbalances within your body. And as I previously mentioned earlier, conventional treatments for hormonal imbalances usually include synthetic hormone replacement therapies such as birth control pills, insulin injections, thyroid medications, and much more. And I mean, unfortunately, for the majority of people suffering from hormonal disorders, relying on these types of synthetic treatments, often these synthetic treatments does one of three things. One, it makes people dependent on taking prescription drugs for the rest of their lives in order to keep symptoms under control. This is the major one that really gets to me. One, because I have a mom who suffers from fibromyalgia and she is like now dependent on her medication, and I'm slowly but surely, I'm trying to introduce to her other natural remedies to kind of help relieve the pain that comes along with fibromyalgia, just because I really don't want her to become 100% dependent on these medications. I mean, that's the whole point behind, these pharmaceutical companies and what they're selling. It's a money-making machine, you feel me? I mean, almost every industry is, but particularly pharmaceutical companies, I mean, do they really care about getting people healthy, or do they just care about selling and making money? And that's, again, this is just my stance. This is my opinion. It's okay if you have a different one from mine, but that's the number one thing about relying on these types of synthetic treatments, such as birth control pills or insulin injections or other medications, that you become dependent on it. Your body cannot become independent without these medications. I mean, I know that sounds redundant, but that's number one. Number two, these synthetic treatments they just mask the symptoms. They don't actually solve or heal them, which means that the patient can continue to develop abnormalities in other areas of the body while the disorder progresses. That's another major one. And the third one is that these synthetic treatments can cause a higher risk for serious side effects such as a stroke, osteoporosis, anxiety, so many more things. I mean, just think, every medication, whether it's over the counter or prescribed, every single medication has some sort of side effects. And these are things that we all need to consider when taking this medication. And again, I get really passionate about this because I have a mom who's like every morning takes all these medications, like 4 different bottles. And it just like, it hurts me to see. But again, everybody's kind of entitled to their own way of healing their own bodies. Again, I am trying to slowly but surely get her into or introducing her into more of the natural remedies like CBD products. I bought her CBD cream and she's obsessed with it, and that's really been helping her with her fibromyalgia, which I'm very glad to hear. But those are really the 3 main things that people suffer from, you know, when depending on these synthetic treatments. But the good news is there are ways to balance your hormones naturally. As we progress through today's podcast, you'll learn what type of hormonal imbalance your specific symptoms might be pointing to, what the root causes of your hormonal problems may be. We'll also get into how you can help treat the problem without experiencing some of the negative side effects associated with synthetic treatments. And I'm going to cut into a very brief, short break right now. When I come back from the break, I'm going to share with you guys what is the endocrine system and what exactly is its function.
Are you looking to learn more about the latest trends from the fitness world? Are you confused by all of the different trends that are out there? The GSMC Fitness Podcast is the place for you. The GSMC Fitness Podcast is the place to come for people of all skill and interest levels. Join us as we explore the latest trends in the fitness world. Does that new exercise really work? Should I try yoga? Whatever your question, chances are good you'll find an answer on the GSMC Fitness Podcast.
Welcome back to GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. So in the previous segment, I kind of gave you a little breakdown of, you know, an overview of what we will be discussing on today's episode. But now let's get into what exactly is the endocrine system. I feel like this is something really important that I need to drill in right now in the beginning of the episode. It's important to understand what the endocrine system is, because if we, you know, keep talking about really how to balance your hormones, you're going to miss a huge factor into how exactly to do that if you don't understand exactly what goes on within your body. And that's pretty much exactly what the endocrine system is. It's your internal environment, what's going on inside your body. So to fully understand your hormone health, it certainly helps to know about your endocrine system and how your hormones work together to maintain homeostasis, aka internal stability. The endocrine system is in charge of coordinating the relationship between different organs and hormones, which are chemicals that are released into your bloodstream from cells within your endocrine glands. And once your hormones are in circulation, they target specific tissues or cells by binding to receptors that are located inside the cell or on its surface. These hormones work as chemical messengers and play a key role in your body's daily functions. And for instance, like, I'm trying to make this as simple as possible because it's kind of like a really sciencey, hefty topic I'm like discussing right now, and I'm not trying to bore you guys. So the endocrine system, your internal environment, it's pretty much heat. Think of it as like being damp, wet, or heat, dry. Okay. So when you're sick, think of why we call it a cold. We call it a cold because your internal environment is cold. You have mucus, you're coughing, there's phlegm. You got it? So your internal environment when you're cold is wet and damp. And how do you solve that? You solve it by consuming foods that are bitter and dry, like lots of herbs, cinnamon, things of that sort, ginger. When you're sick, why do you think we also consume, like, chicken broth is really popular? And you're going to want to try and avoid like things such as bananas. That's like a mushy consistency, almost like phlegm, which is kind of gross to compare because I eat bananas every morning. So that's going to like kill it for me for a bit. But do you get what I'm saying? That's kind of like the example I wanted to give to you guys so we kind of understand what exactly our internal environment means. And / the endocrine system, which is made up of many glands, including the pituitary gland or master gland that's responsible for sending information from your brain to other glands in your body. And the pituitary gland also produces many hormones that travel throughout the body and have different important functions. And in addition, the pituitary gland is made up of 2 different tissue types. The first one being the anterior pituitary that synthesizes and releases classic hormones. And then the second one is the posterior pituitary gland that secretes neurohormones that are made up in the, I'm going to try and say this again, hypothalamus. And these 2 hormones that are secreted by the anterior pituitary gland are growth hormones, which growth hormones, they are responsible for, proper growth and development, and prolactin, which is the hormone that stimulates milk production after childbirth. And then the posterior pituitary gland doesn't produce hormones on its own, but it stores and secretes 2 hormones made in the hypothalamic region. Vasopressin is the first one, and then oxytocin, and then releases them into the bloodstream. And again, if you listened to my episode last week, oxytocin, or what? It wasn't last week. The episode where I talk about how dogs are just amazing for our health. But oxytocin is that like feel-good chemical that releases into our brain. And other important glands of the endocrine system include the pineal gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, thymus gland, and adrenal glands. Okay. I know this is a lot of information I'm throwing at you, so I hope you guys have like a pen and paper to be writing things down. This is a lot of information I'm throwing at you guys, so keep up. And when these hormones send messages, they are received by hormone receptors that process the message, and then they signal specific event or cellular mechanisms that initiate the target cell's response. So as you guys can see, as you guys have been listening, the entire endocrine system works collaboratively to control the level of hormones that circulate throughout your body. So when just one of these hormones is even slightly imbalanced, it can definitely lead to widespread health problems that affect things such as your growth, your sexual development, your sex drive, function, sleep, metabolism, and even hunger. So it's like super important to maintain homeostasis within your internal environment. So as I mentioned, if your body is quote unquote wet or damp, you're not going to want to consume like things such as dairy, like egg whites. If you're feeling dry, vice versa, you're not going to want to consume foods that are super drying or bitter. So it's all about keeping that equilibrium within your body and maintaining that homeostasis within your internal environment, your endocrine system. And some of the most common signs and symptoms of hormone imbalances may include, irregular periods for girls, unexplainable weight gain or weight loss that's not due to intentional changes in your diet or workout routine, depression and anxiety, fatigue, insomnia, acne, hair loss, hair thinning, digestive issues. There's so many common signs and symptoms, and these symptoms of hormonal imbalances can range dramatically depending on what type of disorder or illness they cause. For example, too much estrogen can contribute to problems that include, like reproductive issues, while symptoms of diabetes often include weight gain and changes in appetite, nerve damage, and even problems with eyesight. And I've seen this firsthand. One of my really close aunts, my mom's sister, she has diabetes, and she has experienced, especially her weight, like there will be times where her weight spikes up out of nowhere and then randomly she'll drop like a crazy amount of weight. And it's just like super unstable and it kind of just spikes up, then goes down. And then in addition, she does experience some nerve damage. So it's very, very important to know what these signs and symptoms are and then, try to heal them as efficiently and quickly as possible. And I want to kind of now get into some of the causes of these hormonal imbalances. So again, I just covered right now what the endocrine system is. I just shared some common signs and symptoms, and now I want to share some of the causes. Why do you have hormonal imbalances? So hormonal imbalances are multifactorial disorders, meaning that they are caused by a combination of factors such as your diet, your medical history, genetics, stress levels, and exposure to toxins from your environment. So some of the major contributors to hormonal imbalances include food allergies and gut issues. An expanding field right now of new medical research shows that your gut health plays a significant role in hormone regulation. And if you have like a leaky gut syndrome, aka wet internal environment, or a lack of beneficial probiotic bacteria lining your intestinal wall, you're more susceptible to hormonal problems, including diabetes and obesity. That's because inflammation usually stems from your gut and then impacts nearly every aspect of your health. This is why your gut health is like one of the most important things that we need to take care of. 70% of our immune system is in our gut. And I feel many people, including myself, I'm not going to front, I didn't know about this stuff until I started reading a lot of Dr. Josh Axe content and just really doing my own research, how imperative your gut health is. And I started to take probiotics now. There's a specific granola that I eat now in my yogurt that is very good for your gut health, high in probiotics. And I actually think I'm going to dedicate an entire episode to just our gut health because I just think it's so important and people need to just need to make this knowledge more accessible and attainable to everybody because it's just so important and it's often overlooked when it comes to our health and fitness and all that. And other causes of hormonal imbalances are due to being overweight or obese, high levels of inflammation caused by a poor diet, a sedentary lifestyle, meaning you don't do anything, you don't move, you don't work out, toxicity, again, so this is like exposure to pesticides, toxins, viruses, cigarettes, excessive alcohol, and other harmful chemicals. This is why I also personally try when I'm like shopping for lotions and hair products and skincare products, I try to buy things that are, as natural as possible, just because I want to reduce that toxicity around me. In addition, high amounts of stress and lack of sleep and rest. This is another aspect I think many of us overlook. I believe that our emotional health contributes even more to our physical health than actual diet. If your mental health is down the drain, but your diet and, your diet is on point and your exercise is on point, we're still missing a large chunk. Your emotional and mental health needs to be the main priority when it comes to your health over the other two. If I had to rank them, emotional, mental, stability, health comes first, then diet, then physical health. But collaboratively, they all work together and need to all be worked on. But if I had to rank them, that's kind of the order I'd put them in. And the adrenal dysfunction is the largest cause of the hormonal imbalance with the sex hormones. So especially because of something called the cortisol steal. So if you've never heard of the cortisol steal, this occurs when cholesterol, which usually helps to make the sex hormones, combines with too much stress, and then the enzyme blocks the conversion, which is the production of cortisol ensues. So cortisol then causes the imbalance of progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone, which then decreases the sex drive. So adrenal dysfunction, super common. Again, there's a lot of different causes of hormonal imbalances. Again, I'm going to reiterate, they are multifactorial. So it's a combination of all of these things. It may not be every single thing for you, but it could be like a couple of them. And I'm going to go into another break again. And when I come back, I will finally share with you guys some steps into how to naturally balance your hormones.
The GSMC Life and Happiness podcast takes you on a journey of exploration. We'll discuss tried and true methods alongside the latest trends of how to best live your life to its fullest and happiest. From psychology to meditation, science to self-help books, the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast will help you to discover what makes you happy and how you can live life being the best you possible. Download the GSMC Life and Happiness podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back to GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. And I'm now finally will be sharing with you guys how to naturally balance your hormones, the holistic approach, my favorite approach. And step one or tip one. So swapping, if you have like hormonal imbalances, or just, want to just kind of get them in check, swap carbs for healthy fats. Eating a variety of foods high in short, medium, and long-chain fatty acids is key to keeping your hormones in check. Your body needs various types of fats to create hormones, including saturated fat and cholesterol. So you don't want to avoid those, but also not have too much. Not only are these essential fats fundamental building blocks for hormone production, but they also keep inflammation levels low. They boost your metabolism and promote weight loss. Healthy fats have the opposite effect of refined carbohydrates, which lead to inflammation and can mess with the balance of your hormones. So fat will not make you fat, okay? Healthy fats. My 3 favorite sources of anti-inflammatory healthy fats include coconut oil, avocados, and salmon. And coconut oil, not only are the uses for coconut oil plentiful, but for example, coconut oil, or that can also mean coconut milk or coconut cream. Coconut in general has natural antibacterial and fat burning effects. And avocado benefits include improving heart health, lowering inflammation, controlling your appetite, and contributing to your daily intake of fiber and nutrients such as I cannot talk. Such as potassium. I just pulled a Shakira at her Super Bowl right now. You guys, if you saw her halftime, you know what I'm talking about right now with the tongue. Anyways, I definitely do eat an avocado a day. One, I just love avocados and they go with everything. And instead of using mayo, because I hate mayo, like in a sandwich, I replace the mayo with avocado as my spread, and it's so yummy, so filling. And for some of those who don't like the taste of avocado, I can see because it's kind of bland, just add some salt to it and it gives it perfect taste, and add some lemon. And then for salmon, so salmon nutrition is actually pretty impressive. It's one of the best sources of omega-3 fatty acids, which are known to lower inflammation and help with cognitive functions. Omega-3 fatty acids are a large component of brain cell membranes and are important for cell-to-cell communication within the brain. So again, coconut oil, avocados, and wild-caught salmon. Those are my 3 highly recommend healthy fats. I eat these on the daily. Salmon, maybe not on the daily, but I do eat it pretty frequently because I can get Sometimes the smell of salmon just like gets to me and like I just don't want to cook it. Also because my family hates fish. I'm the only one who loves fish. And they hate when I bake it because then the whole house just stinks like salmon and they get irritated. But here's a rule of thumb. Try to steer clear from oils high in omega-6 fats. So those are fats such as safflower oil, sunflower oil, corn, cottonseed, canola oil, peanut oil, things of that sort. And try to load up on rich sources of natural omega-3s instead. So as I just mentioned, wild fish, salmon, flaxseed, chia seeds, walnuts, things of that sort. So just try to keep your consumption of omega-6 as low as possible and consume more of omega-3s. And speaking of omega-3s, I get often asked a lot too if you should take omega-3 supplement. I know a lot of supplement companies who kind of push this idea of like, oh, take your omega-3 supplements, your fatty acids are good for you. Yeah, they're good for you, but that's the whole point of a supplement. It's only supposed to supply in the areas of your diet in which you are like failing or missing. If you consume the adequate amount of omega-3 / healthy fats in your diet, then you don't need to take those supplements. They're not really helping you out if you're already hitting your daily intake goal, your needs. You feel me? Like if you only, let's just hypothetically speaking, if you only need to consume, again, this number is not correct, I'm just making it up, 15 grams of omega-3 fatty acids, and you already hit that by consuming salmon and chia seeds in your smoothie, then there's no need to add more into your diet and make it over 15, and that's all you need. You feel me? Like that's just, you're wasting money and it's not really helping you out. So again, supplements are only there to help you in the areas in which you need help in. You feel me? And that's all I need to say about that tip number 1, swapping carbs for healthy fats. Step number 2, use adaptogen herbs. So adaptogen herbs are a unique class of healing plants that promote hormone balance and protect the body from a wide variety of diseases, including those caused by excess stress, which stress really just like messes up our internal environment, and we really need to like find our zen and peace within ourselves because stress like literally kills. In addition to boosting immune function and combating stress, research shows that various adaptogens such as herbs like ashwagandha, medicinal mushrooms, and holy basil, these 3 herbs can improve thyroid function. They can lower cholesterol naturally, reduce anxiety and depression, reduce brain cell degeneration, stabilize blood sugar and insulin levels, and support adrenal gland functions. And I want to specifically first talk about ashwagandha. So this specific herb originated from India, the Middle East, and parts of Africa, can be extremely effective at balancing hormones. I personally have never tried ashwagandha, but I definitely, after doing my research and reading this article, I definitely need to go to my local grocery store and find ashwagandha, which is crazy to me that this is like at my local grocery store because I've never heard of ashwagandha. And it benefits thyroid function because it promotes the scavenging of free radicals that cause cellular damage. Ashwagandha can be used to support a sluggish or overactive thyroid, and it can also help to overcome adrenal fatigue. So, in addition, your adrenals can become overtaxed when you experience too much emotional, physical, or mental stress, leading to the disruption of hormones like adrenaline, cortisol, and progesterone. So ashwagandha, highly beneficial to improve thyroid function, and it highly, highly supports adrenal gland functions. And then holy basil, which is also known in some parts as tulsi, helps to regulate cortisol levels, thereby working as a natural remedy for anxiety and emotional stress. Studies show that holy basil can also protect your organs and tissues against chemical stress from, pollutants, like things you find in your lotions, hair care products, skin care products, and heavy metals, which are other factors that can lead to hormone imbalance. So like really so many things can our external environment affects our internal environment so much. It's kind of crazy. And it's crazy that there's like so many natural remedies, and most of these are based on traditional Chinese medicine that can heal our bodies. And I just want to say this, you guys, traditional Chinese medicine has been studied for over 4,000 years, whereas Western, medicine has only been studied for like 150. So we really, compared to traditional Chinese medicine, we really don't have that much evidence. And I feel like that's also why I like to take the holistic approach when it comes to my health, why I prefer the holistic approach. And I am really into all of these steps. And I really hope you are too, if you're trying to get more into a holistic perspective. And then for step number 3, to try to balance or naturally balance your hormones, is addressing your emotional imbalances, aka your emotional, mental health, trying to reduce stress, anxiety, depression. So again, according to traditional Chinese medicine, internal emotions have a direct impact on a person's health, and addressing emotional imbalances, external factors, and lifestyle choices can help to prevent health conditions associated with hormonal imbalances. Again, your emotional and mental health is like that should be the top priority for each person. And I'm very happy that more people are shedding light on this. We're starting to see more discussions about mental illness and mental health on large platforms such as like TV. And I'm very happy that more people are discussing this idea. And traditional Chinese medicine practitioners believe that the emotions of fear cause disease in your reproductive organs, kidneys, and adrenals, affecting cortisol levels. I mean, imagine this, you guys. This makes total sense. When you're a kid, and when kids have nightmares at night, they tend to wet the bed, right? So you're in your dream, you're scared, you have fear, you wet the bed. So that's a perfect example of how the emotions of fear physically contribute to the overworking of your kidneys and your adrenals. Like, that's just one example. And this can lead to serious conditions like PCOS and infertility if too much fear, and that's overworking your internal organs. The emotions of frustration, impatience, and unforgiveness can also cause disease in your liver, which can lead to an estrogen imbalance as well. So there's just a lot of things to digest here. And I hope, again, I'm not like going too fast for you guys, because I know I'm throwing a lot of information. So that's why I said I hope you guys have like a notepad and a pen taking notes of everything I'm discussing right now. So as we can see, emotions are really such a huge and major component of balancing your hormones naturally, and it's important to address these emotional imbalances that you may be dealing with. Emotions of worry and anxiety can really cause severe issues with your insulin levels and can just affect several and so many of your hormones. And you can do this by, again, how do you address your emotional imbalances? You can do this by reducing stress levels. Engage in personal reflection, take time for yourself. Like nowadays, I love how people are taking calling off work to take a mental health day. That's much needed, and I respect that, and that's super important. I'm loving that people are doing that. Employers may not like that, but it's super important if you just like a mental health check day to yourself. Engage in activities that you find peace in, that you find joy, whether that be yoga, meditation, reading. For me, it's exercise. Like my me time, my peaceful time is when I'm working out. I find so much joy in exercising, and that may not be for everybody. Other people find healing through prayer. Prayer can be extremely beneficial. Also, like deep breathing exercises, spending time outdoors, and don't bring your phone. Just walk outside. I mean, these are all amazing natural ways to address your emotional imbalances that you may be dealing with, and that can also help balance your hormones naturally. In addition, traditional Chinese medicine therapies like acupuncture and massage can also help to improve hormonal balance, combat stress, and improve blood flow. I totally stand by that. I try to get a massage. I used to get them like once a week, especially because I like lift a lot of weights. I tend to do it because it like feels good on my body. It's good for muscle soreness. But now that I know it's also great for hormonal balance, I'm like going to try and stay on top of it. So as you guys can see, your emotions and hormones are interconnected. So by working to balance one, you are impacting the other. And if you are ever feeling stressed, angry, agitated, or even fearful, understand that this is affecting your hormone balance and can lead to even bigger health issues. So we have to look at the bigger picture. Keep working on your emotional balance by making it part of your daily routine, like your daily morning routine. You wake up, write in a gratitude journal, read for 30 minutes, take a 15-minute walk outside, meditate, like really try to address your emotional instability every single day, not just when you're feeling fearful, not just when you're feeling agitated or stressed or sad. Try to address your emotional instability or stability. You don't have to be unstable, but try to work on your emotions and your mental health every single day. Make it part of your daily routine to really help with that hormonal balance and just overall health. And I'm going to cut into another break. When we come back, I'm going to share with you guys more steps into how to naturally balance your hormones.
Are you tired of the same old news? Are you sick of the seemingly endless political spin and negativity? The GSMC America's Still Beautiful podcast is a weekly news podcast covering all the top positive and uplifting news stories. We cover stories that will inspire, uplift, and remind you of the good in the world. Tune into the Golden State Media Concepts America's Still Beautiful podcast to get all the great and positive news stories of today. Download the GSMC America's Still Beautiful podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Welcome back to GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. Moving right along, let's get into the next step or tip I have for you to naturally balance your hormones. And this one, many of you may be into. Many of you have already been incorporating it and not even know that it's naturally balancing your hormones. And that is using essential oils. Yes, I know all of my ladies right now, or men too, we're all going to Marshall's, gonna, stack up on these essential oils. I've been using them. I didn't even know that it can naturally balance your hormones, but I'm so glad that's just one of the many amazing benefits of using essential oils. So again, I mentioned it. A lot of hormonal imbalances can be enlarged due to our external environment. So it's important that you eliminate toxins in your body by avoiding conventional body care products that are made with potentially harmful chemicals, including DA, parabens, sulfates, things like that. It's like in hair care products, I always try to see if it's paraben free and sulfate free. A better alternative is also to use natural products with ingredients like essential oils, coconut oil, shea butter, and castor oil. Those are like the main ones I really try to look for in the ingredient list when I'm shopping for my body care, skincare products. The Environmental Working Group evaluated over 72,000 products and ranked them in an easy-to-understand guide to make sure you have a resource to keep your family safe. So if you guys want to check out more, check out their website, Environmental Working Group, Skin Deep Cosmetic Database. It's online. for recommendations for which products to use and avoid. And that's actually where I went and where I got many of these tips. So to replace toxic body care and cleaning products, use these hormone balancing essential oils. The first one being clary sage. Yes, sage helps to balance estrogen levels because it contains natural phytoestrogens. It can also be used to regulate your menstrual cycle, which is amazing. Helps relieve those PMS symptoms. It helps treat infertility, and it can even reduce the chances of uterine and ovarian cancer. How amazing is that? It also serves as a natural remedy for emotional imbalances like depression and anxiety. So again, super important to take care of our emotional health. And, you know, if you have a diffuser, you can get one like at Marshall's or Ross. They're pretty inexpensive. So diffuse 3 to 5 drops of the clary sage to help balance hormone levels and relieve stress. And then to ease cramps, menstrual cramps and pain, massage 5 drops of clary sage with 5 drops of coconut oil into your stomach. And then, you know, any other area of concern and just rub it. And that should help relieve the pain. So I'm already a fan of this first essential oil. I'm more into like lavender. My favorite all-time one is eucalyptus. I always have a eucalyptus candle burning, and it just eases me. It's supposed to be a stress reliever, and I definitely feel like that. The second one is fennel. That's the second essential oil. So if you have problems with your gut health, or you just want to improve your gut health, or you have things such as like autoimmune disorder, reactions, use fennel essential oils to relax your body. It helps to improve your digestion and gut health. It helps boost your metabolism in addition to reducing inflammation. So all of these are amazing. And to use the fennel, you can rub 2 drops of fennel into your stomach or add 1 to 2 drops in a glass of warm water or tea and take it internally. So I feel like after reading those two, like I need to, right when I'm done recording this, I'm going to need to go to Marshall's. I need to stock up on these essential oils. And then the next one I have for y'all is lavender. So lavender oil helps promote emotional balance as it can help to treat anxiety, depression, moodiness, and stress. Lavender can also be used to promote restful sleep, which will help to balance your hormone levels as well. To be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of lavender. Like my sister always has lavender, like this lavender plant at her house, and it's all right. I hope if she's listening to this, she doesn't come at me. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of lavender. I'm definitely more eucalyptus. Sandalwood. Oh, that one I love. And sandalwood essential oil can be used to reduce. We don't want to increase stress. We want to reduce stress, promote relaxation, boost mental clarity, and helps you relax. So this powerful fragrance of sandalwood triggers peaceful feelings and results in the overall reduction of stress that can lead to hormone imbalances. So if you inhale sandalwood directly from the bottle, you get that nice little woof and you're good to go. And then the last one I have for you guys for time, I just said it. So the last essential oil is thyme oil, which improves progesterone production, which helps to treat or relieve health issues like infertility, menopause, depression, hair loss, and insomnia. So I love this tip. I love this step. Again, use essential oils to help promote or to help naturally balance your hormones. Again, many of us are probably already doing this in our homes and didn't even realize how amazing the benefits are and the great things we're doing to our body. So high five to you if you're already doing it. And then step 5 is to supplement to fill nutritional voids. So I understand it's sometimes necessary to supplement in order to fill nutritional voids that can be leading to to a hormone imbalance. Like as I mentioned about the omega-3 fatty acids, you only need to take supplements if there's a void. And here are some of the top supplements that were recommended for your hormones. And the first one being evening primrose oil. The second one being vitamin D, which you can get that from the sun. Sunshine is really the best way to optimize vitamin D on its own when exposed to even small amounts of direct sunlight. So, and this is actually why many people who live in dark areas, such as Minnesota, often suffer from seasonal depression and other health problems unless they supplement with vitamin D, because they're literally not getting it from sunshine. And then the third one is bone broth. Oh my God. So I used to drink a cup full of bone broth every single day, but the taste is like, I don't even know how to describe the taste. It's just it's very strong, and I don't know. I really, it's indescribable. You just have to try it. But bone broth really does have some amazing, amazing health benefits. It soothes the digestive system and supplies the body with nutrients that can be easily absorbed. Consuming bone broth or like bone broth protein powder, which actually sounds disgusting and I don't think I'll try it. It can be beneficial for your health because it contains healing compounds like collagen. So hello skin, proline, glycine, glutamine, which have the power to boost your overall health. So it really does have amazing benefits. I guess you can just kind of pick and choose exactly how you want to ingest it. Again, I used to like literally just buy the bone broth, heat it up and drink it as if it were tea. I know it's hard. It literally was hard to swallow, but like my health is wealth, you guys. Like I live by that. So I'm going to do what I can to like stay as healthy for as long as I can. And the final, I guess, supplement to fill these nutritional voids are probiotics. I take them, especially for gut health. Probiotics are amazing in aiding in to repair your gut lining, which if you have poor gut health can cause major imbalances in hormones. So probiotics, super healthy. We need them. They're healthy bacteria that can actually improve your production and regulation of key hormones like insulin and leptin. So especially if you have like a leaky gut, as I mentioned in the previous segment about your internal environment being like wet or damp, if you have a deficiency of probiotics in their guts, so if you have a leaky gut, probiotics will help you with that. And then last but not least, this is kind of like a no-brainer, but I always feel like I need to reiterate it, is getting enough sleep. Get your rest, people. I know in today's day and age, it's all about the hustle. It's all about the grind. It's all about, being awake when your competitor's asleep. I get that, but it's also really important to step back, and really let your body rest and not go into overdrive, which I feel like especially in the US, we're constantly into overdrive, which also is correlated with stress and anxiety. So unless you're getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night, you're really not doing your body any favors. A lack of sleep or disturbing your natural circadian rhythm can be one of the worst habits contributing to a hormone imbalance, like just your sleep. So how exactly? Because your hormones they're also working on a schedule. So for instance, cortisol, the primary stress hormone, is regulated at midnight. So therefore, people who go to bed extremely late never truly get a break from their sympathetic fight or flight stress responses. So sleep helps keep stress hormones balanced. It helps build energy. It allows the body to properly recover. I mean, excessive stress and poor sleep are linked with higher levels of morning cortisol, decreased immunity, trouble with work performance. There's just so many other things. Weight gain. If you're trying to gain weight, you're not going to gain weight if you're not letting your body recover. So sleep is so imperative. Ideally, you want to try and get in bed by 10 p.m. I know that's like hard for some people. That's ideally. But if not, just try and find and stick to like a regular sleep and wake up cycle schedule as much as possible. You don't want to have a super inconsistent sleep schedule. So try to go to bed every night around the same time and then try to wake up around the same time every morning. That's really going to help keep your hormonal balances in check. Whew, I know. I covered a lot today. My mouth is dry. I need my water. That was a lot of information I threw at you guys. And I hope that it was super beneficial for you guys to listen to me speak on this subject. And my final thoughts, surrounding this subject is that hormonal imbalances are natural. It affects millions of people worldwide. I'll just quickly summarize some of the natural treatments, which include, eating an anti-inflammatory diet, aka lots of healthy fats, consuming enough omega-3s, aka salmon, fish, getting good sleep, like I just mentioned, exercising, and controlling your emotional health, getting it in check, invest in things, invest in yourself, your emotional health, do things that bring you joy, that bring you peace. And just final thought, actual final thought. Everyone, like I just said, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Everyone is entitled to their own ways, their own methods of handling their health. It's your body, your choice. This is my choice, how I would want to naturally heal myself, my holistic approach to my health. And that's what I need to say about that. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up today's health and wellness episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed what I had to speak on today. If you guys want me to talk more on holistic healing, there's like so many things I could talk about, but I want to talk about things that you guys are actually interested in and actually going to tune in. So let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this episode with your friends and family. And as always, I wish you all a very happy and healthy week.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.